What's up, y'all? It's your girls, Doe and Mo, back with another episode of the Rooted Life Podcast. This is episode 7, which means we're pulling up on the end of the season, which is sad, but we still got 2 more to go. If you are joining us again, then we're just so happy to have you. And if you're new here, we just want to let y'all know we're 2 best friends who love Jesus and helping women thrive in their relationships with God, themselves.
Gotta start over.
Boop.
Your phone is right there.
My phone.
My bad.
Nope, you're good.
No, catch everything now. Please catch us. We got a different shirt on. Okay, I'm like, did we do all the things? Okay.
Watch more again. Hello, Rooted Life. This is the 3rd time.
Okay. 3rd time.
The charm. What's up, y'all? It's your girls, Doe and Mo, back with another episode of the Rooted Life Podcast. This is episode 7, which means we've only got 2 left to the season finale. But we're so excited to have you with us if you're joining us again. And if you're new here, what you need to know is that we're 2 best friends who love Jesus and love helping women thrive in their relationships with God, themselves, and others by focusing on faith and well-being.
Yep. And this season, we're exploring change in all its forms. So we've talked about a little bit about everything, honestly.
Yeah.
We talked about relationships, our body, leadership, career, so many things. And today we're going to talk about our families, which I know, I just want to kind of say it. Like, I know that for families, like, that can bring up different emotions for people. Like, it can be sensitive. So we just want to say, like, take care of yourselves as we talk about this. But I'd love for us to take a moment to reflect on our previous episode where we talked about leadership, women in leadership. And I'd love to hear, what was your, like, big aha moment from our conversation in our last episode?
Yeah, the thing that really came to mind for me was that leadership is not just a title. It's really how you show up in every area of your life. It's the way that you present yourselves and how you present yourself and how you care for people in those areas that really make you a leader. So it doesn't matter if you have the big platform or not. You can be a leader in any area of your life.
Yeah, I love what you talked about in last episode about providing context and rationale, because that's something we can all do in all of areas of our lives. And the more we over communicate, I know we were just having a conversation about let's continue to over communicate. Providing the context and rationale as a leader is important, but also in relationships to over communicate so people aren't left to their own devices to create a narrative. So I thought that was a really good tip as well.
Okay, look at that.
was really
Love
helpful.
it. So make sure you go back and listen to that one.
Get it? Yep.
Yeah, before we get into our glows and grows, want to make sure that y'all know we got Post Check available for pre-order, which is super exciting. You can head to our website, www.rootedlifepodcast.com, and you can pre-order your own copy of Post Check. So this is our new relationship card game designed to spark meaningful conversations, help you build deeper connections with the people that you love. It is a labor of love for us, and we're so excited that it is now ready for y'all to get your own copy.
Ma'am.
Boom.
Okay.
Glows and grows.
Glows and grows. Am I going first? I don't remember.
You know, whoever wants to go, you can go.
Okay, I go. Glows and grows. I don't know. I'm like, do I want to start on my glows or my grows? I think I'll do my grow. I'm learning to not just give my body time to rest, but giving my mind rest.
Yeah.
Something I learned in one of my trainings, I think I referenced, it was talking about closing loops with people, like a good colleague and a good leader closes a loop for somebody. So if you start on a project, to really, a way you could close a loop is like, here are the next steps. Like you just round it out.
Okay.
I find that when I don't do that, I'm at home and I'm still trying to close loops. It's almost like I have a bunch of open tabs of work open in my mind. And I'm still like, oh, do this. And I'm just like, would like to not be thinking about work when I'm not paid to think about work.
Ooh, say that again.
I'm thinking about work more than they're paying me. Like I'm like, you're not getting paid to think about work. Don't think about it. So really want to work on like closing those loops before my work day and work week end, so I can just be like, you did everything you could, but also stop giving them so much mental energy when I'm not getting paid to do it.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. I think for me, my glow, something I've really been working on in therapy and in my life is really like choosing the healthy way over the convenient way. And thinking particularly about like my coping mechanisms. Like if I could do anything when I'm feeling bad, it's like get some French fries and get something sweet. Like that is and there's nothing wrong with French fries and sweets. Okay. I love it. But that's not going to help me get to where I need to get. And so in the hard moments where I'm feeling challenged and overwhelmed, or my emotions are high, or I'm triggered, choosing the healthy way over the convenient way. So for me, the healthy way is like, you're not getting French fries tonight. Okay. You already had mashed potatoes yesterday. You already eat a lot of potatoes. Go to Zumba. talk to God about it, eat a nice meal, get a good night rest. But it's hard in that moment to choose the healthy thing over the convenient thing. It's not to say I get it right every time, but I'm noticing myself choose the healthier path more than the convenient path.
That's good. And it takes a lot to deny oneself the thing that is easier and that gives you immediate satisfaction.
That part.
So, yeah, that is really good wisdom there.
Thank you.
Really good wisdom.
Yeah.
This week, glows and grows. So my grow, multitasking.
Oh,
yeah. I'm leaving it behind in 2024 or earlier 2025. But yeah, it's not a real thing. It's like, well, it is a real thing, but in doing multiple tasks at once, that means you're dividing your attention between multiple things, which doesn't actually mean that you're going to do those things to the best of your ability or with the best quality. And so I'm realizing that, similar to the tab thing, when I start here and then start there, or I'm doing this while I'm on the phone, like nothing is really getting my full attention to be able to like serve it to the best of my ability. And so, I've just decided I'm just going to let that go. Like we're going to be doing one thing at a time. We're going to focus our attention there. And that's what it's going to be. So I'll check back in to see if this actually takes place in my life, because it is easier said than done. But
yeah, very much so.
Just recognizing that that's an area that I can grow in. Yeah. And then my glow, I would say just setting some work boundaries recently.
Okay.
And by recently, I mean like one day this past Friday, because the other days, I worked really late. I worked till like 8, 9 o'clock. And because I was working so late all those days, I said, you know what? On Friday, we have a half day. And I was tempted to just work through the half day. It's like, whatever. It's a half day. So this is actually a time for me to get more done. And then something was just like, you know what? Take your time. And at 2 o'clock, when you're off, be off and do something for yourself. And so I actually did it. And that was my glow of being like, you know what? Because part of that need to keep going and to work is like the belief that it's all on me, that I'm not trusting God has got it. And so I was like, you know what? This is also an exercise of my faith to say, I'm going to put it down and it's going to be fine. And I did. And I went to the movies and it was great.
Oh,
so yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
Look
right.
at us growing and glowing.
Look at us.
All right. Well, today.
Family size.
Family. She played too much.
Family size. All right.
Too much. Well, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Because you have gone through a change. Family in a new way. Like you got married, so now you're part of a new family, but you got another family.
Yeah.
So yeah, how are you navigating this change?
My first family, my new family.
Got a new family. She got a bunch of families. So how are you navigating this change, or like how does it stand out to you, and why do you think it's actually important for us to talk about change in our families?
Yeah. I think what stands out to me is how big life events impact the dynamics in our family. I just hadn't connected those two. I was like reflecting on, I'm like, when was one of, outside of getting married recently, when was one of the other like big changes that I had in my family that shifted the dynamic? And I'm like, oh, when I moved away from home. Like that's one of your biggest changes. It's like I'm no longer in the house. You're like becoming self-sufficient, becoming an adult, those kinds of things. And how that was challenging. It's like, I'm getting calls all the time. It's like, where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? And it's like, y'all not going to know every little piece of my life anymore, because now I'm like moving into a new phase of life. And so it took a little bit of time and adjusting, of course, but we got there. And so I'm like, wow, I moved away from home though, like 10 years ago now. And so that's the last time that there was a significant like life event that shifted the family dynamics. And so seeing how marriage is a new one that has started to shift some of the dynamics, and just kind of recognizing how because people are older, they're a little bit more secure in their perspectives.
We like it.
And their preferences. And so kind of adjusting to some new boundaries and new ways of working has been a little challenging. And so I think for me, it's an important conversation, because I don't think you're always prepared for stepping out of the child role in your family. Your parents will always see you as a child, like the grandmas and the aunties. You're always like the little baby. And it's like, that's great. And also trying to balance that with stepping into your role as an adult and helping people see that and see how you want to be treated, how you want to be talked to, how you want to engage with them. A lot of those things are hard because you're teaching your family something new, and sometimes that's not so well received, or there's resistance to this new way of operating.
Especially in a black family.
Especially in a black family. And the amount of like comments you have to be prepared to deal with is also just like, that's another thing that stands out. It's like when your family dynamics change, there's a lot of inner work that needs to take place, because I'm realizing that there's a lot more grace that needs to be extended during that time, because it's like, it's really their experience that you're feeling. It's not necessarily that you're doing anything wrong, but you're feeling them trying to process the experience, and sometimes that comes out in a way that's like, that wasn't really nice to say. But this is just you trying to like figure it out, and so having grace for that, which can be hard, because sometimes your feelings get hurt. So that was like a mouthful to get started, but like it has been with us. It has been complex. It has been complex.
I know. I was thinking something a little different. So my sister and I go to Chicago every year to see my grandma, and we call my grandma's sisters our aunts and our aunties and our uncles, because essentially they are. But I had to be reminded that my grandmother's 83, so she can't be driving in the dark to pick us up at the airport like early in the morning. But me and my sister like to get there early and leave early so we can have a whole day with her. And then when we come back, we got a whole day to get our lives together. And my auntie had to remind me last time, she can't do that anymore, Morgan. My mom had to remind me, your grandmother can't do that. And I was like, yeah, duh. But it hadn't clicked to me like, oh, you're in your 80s. Like, she might be 84. You're solidly in your 80s. Like, you can't be doing that. And I'm like, oh, wow, the people in my life are getting older.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird, because it's like, I know I'm getting older, but I hadn't processed that you also are aging, and just seeing the dynamics look a little different. It's just so odd. Yeah, I think I'm just surprised that the people older than me are also getting older.
It does catch you off guard a little bit.
I'm like, you're getting old. Like, not just, it's so funny too, because I was talking to my grandma, and this was like maybe 3 years ago, so she might have been 80 or 79, and she was like, yeah, I was out and about. There's just so many old people out. Just so many old people. I said, Grandma, I'm about to tell you something that's going to shock you. She said, what? I said, you one of the old people. She said, oh my God, I am. I didn't even know it. So it's like, it's interesting watching other people get old, but also you have to process that you're getting older.
Yes.
And that relation to everybody else is just so surprising. I think it's important to talk about, because it's part of life. It's part of life. And I think we have to have grace for them getting older, because in some ways they get a little bit more stuck in their ways. They believe they know a lot, and they have. You've been on this earth 83 years. You know a lot about
and yet
life.
Not everything.
And yet there's still new things to learn. And so I think there's a new dynamic to navigate, and it's important to like recognize that so you can name it and navigate it with grace.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, man. So when you think about like your family, what has been surprising for you, in addition to like folks getting old, but how is that kind of shaping how you engage with your family now, those learnings?
It's making me treasure the time we have.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know how much time we have, but I want to make the most of the time we have.
Yeah.
And I want there to be no question in anyone's mind that I loved you with all that I could. So I think it makes me more intentional, even if like yesterday we had dinner. Was that yesterday we had dinner with friends? 2 days ago? I had 20 minutes. I'm like, let me just call my grandma real quick. And let her, I got 20 minutes. Let's just, we just be yapping. So I think it's given me a sense of urgency. I've had to fight the fear that comes with that, though, and the anxiety of thinking about people who have been in my life my entire life.
Yeah,
they may not be here. They won't.
They won't at some point. They
literally won't. Accept it, girl. Accept it. So I think it's given me a sense of urgency in some ways, and a level of intentionality to just really love on them and be there for them and listen to them. And like give them room to grow and change as well, because you can be 60, 70, 80 and there's still something you can be learning. So I think also just wanting to like encourage them, pour into them, be like, I'm so proud of you, that's so great, like I love that you did that. So I think this balance of like not allowing the anxiety and fear of losing people to keep me from just showing up and loving them well. So I think those are the things that I'm kind of like processing.
Yeah, that's really good. My grandma called me during the last episode, so I was like, yeah, let me make sure I go ahead and call in it back.
Go ahead and
on
call
the ride
grandma
home.
back.
Yeah.
Call her back.
But remembering that, and remembering that the time is precious. And so don't let that slip by, especially in this day and age when we have such busy lives.
Very busy.
But making sure that you make time for the people who matter most to you, particularly with your family, and everyone's family dynamics are different.
Of course,
and so
of
like
course.
how you interact with your family might not be in the same, super positive way. But whoever family is to you, I think that's still, the message still remains the same. That you carve out that time for those people and make sure that they know how much you care for them. Super sweet. Yeah.
Agree. And it can be little. It can be, my grandmother recently got a phone where she can text this year.
Jesus.
This year.
2025.
She be sending me emojis. She got annoyed when my sister sent emojis. She's like, what are those things? Why would you send me that? My sister's like, it's part of the conversation. She's like, why he smiling? Why he laughing? Why wouldn't you just type it out? She's like, it's an emoji. So now she sends emojis.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's like, well, if someone takes a picture of you tomorrow night, go ahead and text it to me. So I forgot to take a picture, but it's cool too, to your point. It's like, yeah, maybe it's not a phone call, but if it's someone you care about, it can be a text. Thinking about you. How's your day? Did you watch that TV show we talked about? Like just those little touch points. I think we underestimate how far those can go for people because we don't know what people are going through. So even just sending a message lets someone know that I'm on someone's mind, and that really matters to people.
And I think particularly it matters with family because oftentimes like we are the young ones in the family. And so like now they're at points in their lives, like when I think about my parents and my grandparents, they have a lot more open time where they really are just kind of like chilling at the house, like living this routine life. And so us interrupting some of that with a positive, like, hey, grandma, I was just thinking about you, what you got going on, I just imagine is a sweet thing, you know? And so remembering like that we can bring some delight in the midst of everything that we have going on too. So.
Yeah, well, my grandma, she don't have caller ID, so she's always surprised when I call.
Well, I guess that's a joy too.
She'd be like, hello. And I'm like, grandma, it's me. She'd be like, I can hear the joy in her voice. She's like, literally. What are you doing? Like, I can hear how much that makes her day. So yeah, you're so right.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking about with family, being surprised by like how out of practice I was with vulnerability with my family. Even though they are the people who have known me for the longest, obviously, but still not necessarily having stretched that muscle of like getting beneath the surface as it relates to our relationship sometimes. I think sometimes in family dynamics, a lot goes unsaid and a lot is assumed. There can be a lot of fear because of the hierarchy and the roles that we play in our families. So we're not necessarily always being as open and truthful as we could be. And so that was surprising for me as I've navigated the changes of dating someone seriously that turned into being engaged and being married. And it played out in a funny way. I'll share a quick little story for the people. So last summer, family's planning a family trip. We always go on the same family trip, which is great. Loved it. Super exciting. And, this was the first summer that I'm like, I was knowing that like I will probably be getting engaged and then married next year. And so when I'm talking to a family member about planning this trip, I'm like, hey, so I'll probably be married by this time next year. So like we should account for that on the family trip. And then I heard back from said family member who will remain unnamed.
We won't say their name.
That my room had already been booked for me to share, not with my soon-to-be husband, but with my brother on the trip, on the cruise. And I was like, okay, did we not? I just shared with you kind of like where I'll probably be this time next year. And so, and also I couldn't go on those dates because I have a really big work project on those dates. And so just kind of the like lack of communication, a little bit of the avoidance of like, well, we just gonna do it this way anyway. And so I really had to kind of have a little bit of an honest conversation around like, hey, I am your child. And also I am not like, you can't just plan my life anymore. Like that just can't happen anymore. And so that was, of course, I didn't say it like that, but we had to have some hard conversations. And I also just got to share and be like, hey, it kind of hurt my feelings because I felt like you didn't listen to what I was trying to say or consider what was going on in my life in this circumstance. And they apologized and it was fine and like, heard me in the moment. But sometimes I think it also made me realize sometimes you just have to name like, hey, that actually kind of like made me feel, it made me feel like you don't see me and you don't listen to me. And that didn't feel good. And her hearing that was like an opportunity to be like, oh, I don't ever want you to feel that way. And so anyway, I say that to say, sometimes things gonna change.
Right.
They need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And give people an opportunity to show up if they do hurt you or do something wrong. Instead of just being mad about it and like sweeping it under the rug with all the other mess that be under the family rug.
Yeah, you made me think about how hard it to me, I think the hardest person for me to like set those emotional boundaries or share feedback is like my family. And I don't know why I'm like, I know you and you know me.
Yeah.
And I know you love me. But for some reason, it's hard for me to be like, hey, X, Y, Z hurt my feelings. Here's what I need.
Yep.
I don't know why that's like,
Yeah.
oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It's big. And it's also like everyone's parents or family members are in different places of their own journey of like being able to hear feedback and receive feedback.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, your parents as your parent, but then when you're giving feedback, it almost feels like a peer situation.
Yes.
And you're like, I don't know this dynamic. And I'm very uncomfortable here. It's healthy, but it can be very awkward.
Yeah. 100%.
Very
extremely awkward.
Especially with a Black family, because you don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, and we've also been taught that like there are only certain ways that you can interact with adults.
Talk about
You're
it.
taught
Talk
that
about
from
it. Talk about
the
it.
young age. You at the child's table, stay out of grown folks' business, and then you wake up one day, you're like, I'm a grown folk. This
I'm
my
at the
business.
table.
I've invited y'all into my home at my table.
Raw.
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so
you're
it's
right.
like that dynamic, it happens a bit sudden.
It does.
And so you're just kind of like, wait a minute, I am an adult. And I do get to say, I don't want to do that with my money. I'm not paying for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it gets a little crazy. But how would you encourage someone who might be navigating? You kind of talked a little bit more about just folks getting older in your life and supporting them through that as they realize that they're getting older and as you realize that.
I think two pieces I'm thinking about. Accepting that they're getting older is hard. But I think like having a conversation around like wills and estate planning.
It's important.
It's so, I think about the episode with Insecure.
I knew it. I just watched that episode.
Yeah, it's scary. We had it, my sister, it was hard for all of us. But it's healthy. Yeah. And I think that's a conversation a lot of us don't have, but we need to have it. I'm thinking particularly around Black wealth. And if your parents own homes, like you don't want that stuff caught up in probate court and somebody else gets that house that your parents spent decades paying for.
Yeah.
So I think there's a piece about us, like particularly I think for Black people, to make sure we help our parents as best we can. If they have something to pass down, even if they don't, like just to help them make plans. Just help them make plans. I think that's really, really important. I think so that the planning is one. Asking like, how would you like me to honor you when you leave is like so uncomfortable. But it's like,
that's a hard one. But
I want to. What would you like? Like, oh, I hated the conversation, but I'm like, come on, be an adult here.
Yeah,
be a leader.
Yes.
But I think also just like loving your family well, like you said, whoever, whether it's your God-given family or your chosen family, like loving them well. And even as we were like preparing for this episode, I realized like my relationships are my most important commodity I have. That is the most important thing in my life. Other than my relationship with Jesus, it's the people in my life. So I want to make sure that I am spending my time wisely. Like if I say my relationships are the most important, but I don't invest in them, I don't spend time growing and cultivating them, then my priorities are out of whack. So that's the most important. I just want to make sure I keep that up as a priority, even if it's just like I text my brother or tell my sister I love you or send somebody a scripture, or like I just don't want to ever lose sight of how important the people are in my life. And I don't want anyone in my life to ever doubt it, because I want to be consistently showing up in whatever way I can in that particular season to like really invest in them and just make sure they know I love them and I think about them often.
That's good.
Yeah.
So sweet.
That's my long answer.
So sweet.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, the encouragement I think I would give is just to be like mindful of the narrative that you create around your family, particularly when you're going through challenging seasons with them. Don't let that be at the forefront of the story. It can be really easy to let that be the thing that then drives how you start to see your family. Well, they don't do this and they always do that. And that's just not the truth.
It's not.
And so I think being careful about remembering that like people mean well.
They do.
And your family loves you. Your family cares for you. And and they want to be a part of your life, maybe sometimes a little too much, but that's okay because that is just the opportunity to kind of practice those boundaries, to show people how you want to be loved and cared for in new seasons. So I think that is like the thing that kind of stands out to me around just being okay with the dynamics changing and then exercising the grace to help people get where you are, because it's new for everybody. It's new for me being married. It's new for them experiencing me as a married woman. And so if I don't answer the phone, for some reason, like, that's okay, And so like retraining, I think is also a new thing, but I think it's healthy for us.
Yeah, there's something on my heart too I want to share too, is that there may be people listening who your family dynamic does not allow you to do the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I know that can be like just so disappointing and heart-wrenching and feel unfair. But I just want to remind you that God still has a purpose for your family. He still has a purpose for you being, he could have put you in any family. And for whatever reason, he chose your family. Yeah. So he has a purpose there. He's still moving. And I just want to encourage all of us, if we don't have the relationship with our family the way that we desire, to not stop praying for our family. I think the one thing I didn't say that I was thinking about, like, is intercession is important.
Yeah.
And I try to make an effort every day to pray for my family, to pray for, like, healing and restoration in bodies and relationships for people to know Christ. Like, I don't want anyone to listen to this episode and be like, wow, their families must just be like so healthy and so great. It's like, we got the same challenges that anybody else got. And so I just want to encourage you all that, like, this does not have to be the end of your story for your family. And if you're listening to this, I think this is just a charge for all of us to continue to intercede and pray for our family and not give up on them. And even if that means that you don't have a relationship or you got to set some hard boundaries, you can still pray for them.
Sure.
And I just don't want anyone to lose sight of, like, that might just be your action step of, like, praying fervently for your family to be healed and to be whole again, because that is God's desire for families.
And I think to that point, because it is God's desire for family, is something that the enemy wants to attack and break down.
Yep, he does.
The family is the place that he likes to try to penetrate, to be able to divide us. And so in that encouragement, just reminding people that oftentimes it is a lot more spiritual than we would give it credit for. And so intercessory prayer being even more important when we're coming up against the enemy's attacks against our family. That was real, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know it was about to go there.
That was real, yeah.
It was on my heart,
and
that was good. I think it's important for us to say to people. So I'm going to try to make a hard turn.
Yeah.
Post check.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, but we here.
Yeah.
Like we said, y'all know that we have a new relationship card game. Again, you can pre-order on our website. And so we've been this season ending every episode with a question.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear from you. If you were to talk to your friends and family, they would say you are most likely to, like, what are you known for in your family?
Okay, the two things. Number one,
tell me.
Most likely to be eaten. Because your girl is always got a plate, okay? Always have a plate. And always describing said plate.
Really?
Like, oh, man, I can really taste. My family, they have this thing where they, like, make fun of me. They're like, oh, describe it for a story. And then I just get into my, like, bag. I'm like, oh, well, there are hints of cilantro. And there's another fresh herb in there. Can't quite call it. Might be a little bit of dill. Chopped finely, definitely. And so I just be, like, describing it. So that's just, like, a fun thing that we do. Funny. Or most likely to be outside. Okay. Because they know every time they call me background noise, where are you at now? Oh, I'm at such and such having a meal, or I'm at the park, or I'm at this. So, yeah, she be outside and she be eating.
True. Both
what about
of those
you?
Things. I think they would say I'm a go-getter. I'm always making moves, doing something.
Sounds about right.
Leading something. Got to get the family. Like, talk about being a leader.
Yeah.
Very much so in my family. So I think they would say I'm a go-getter. And ambitious, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they would say about me.
Well, speaking of family and Pulse Check, this is honestly a really great game to play with your family.
Yeah.
A lot of just, like, easy and deep questions to be able to kind of explore different topics with your family that you might not necessarily come across naturally. And so a super cool way to just kind of connect with the people that you think you know the most. But these questions will reveal some new things. So I think that's pretty cool. So you can get yours by going to our website and pre-ordering your copy. You can also share this question that we just shared with each other, with your friends and family. It might be fun to hear how your family would actually say you're most likely to fill in the blank, and share this episode with somebody. If it was a blessing to you, then we're sure it would be a blessing to somebody else.
Love it. And then last but certainly not least, if you'd like to hear additional thoughts and some of our personal reflections, you can sign up for our free newsletter by clicking the information in the description below. Well, y'all, we'll see you next episode. We love you so much. Stay rooted.